first thing I want to thank everybody for actually joining me tonight and coming out. The reason why I'm having this seminar is because I want to advise everybody on how to reduce a lot of their tax liability, especially after the last 4 years since 2020. As you can see that tax liabilities actually started rising a lot more, and they came out where this thing that they have itemized deductions and standard deductions now. So in the examples that I'm going to go forward with, that's what I'm going to show you. So the first couple of slides, I'm just going to run you through it. I'm going to have a lot of time at the end for questions and answers because I know that's where everybody's going to have their questions and I got to give you the answers for them. But I also want to get to the example because I know for me, it's easier for me to learn when I'm actually showing you your tax situation and then you could understand it. So I'm going to go through the first three slides very quickly, and this is what I'm coming to you guys about today. All right. All right. So the first thing is that I want you guys to understand the definition of self-employed expenses. Uh, Such as you can have home office expenses, you can have equipment, you can have travel, but you have to keep detailed records of these expenses. As I go to this next slide, as you can see, uh, as a self-employed individual, you have to recognize that you are either a sole proprietor or an independent contractor. So once you register your business and you become independent, a sole proprietor, you have you can separate your personal expenses from your business expenses. You can open up that business account where when you purchase gas, you buy supplies, you buy anything. You could even go out on a date and it's a business date. You can literally write off that expense. And this is in the IRS guidelines. So that's why I'm trying to show you guys the importance of registering that business and keeping those personal expenses separate from your business expenses. All right. When you do that, you're able to maximize these deductions that we typically talk about, like your mileage, like going for a business uh, trip. Like I'm going to actually show you how that's going to work. So if you're taking 10 miles a day and you cut here or you cut a yard, you can actually take that expense off. But you have to have a mileage log and you have to have a registered business where you can have your business expenses separated from yourself, some personal expenses. You could even write off hiring a family member. Like you see what I'm saying? So you could pay your family member a certain amount of money, $100 every time for helping you and your business grow, and you can literally write off that expense. So now I'm going to actually go to the best part of this presentation for me. Is to literally stop all the talking and then actually get you into seeing this live with your own tax situation. So I'm going to create a test file and I'm going to show you exactly how the itemized deductions work opposed to standard deductions and how you can also benefit. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you told me that. So let me do something. I'm going to actually go right just back to the uh, personal information. So hold on. Now, can you guys see everything on my screen?
Yes, I see
All
it.
right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to go back to this right here. So this is very important. So I'm glad, Fernetta, that you said that because I would have missed everybody with this. All right. This is a single individual, Tess Smith. He's a manager and he has no kids. He's just a single individual. I added in some wages for him where I show that he makes 55,000 and he also pays back $4,500 in taxes. You see that? So now
Yeah.
I'm going to add his standard deductions, as you can see right now. Let me just remove this 14,000 from his gift that I put in there. His regular standard deductions right now, this is what I want everyone to understand. The government, since 2020, made a change, a tax law change where standard deductions is already on your tax return. So a single individual standard deductions is 1385.50. You see, for a couple, their standard deductions is higher. So because of standard deductions, those items that you used to take, such as upkeeping and grooming, mileage for driving back and forth to work, charity, you can still take those deductions, but if they're not more than this 13,850, then it's like you're just wasting your time putting it in there. So I'm going to show you that by putting in $14,000 worth of expense for a charity, and you will see that this person expense tax liability goes down to $83 at this point, but only $83. So now let me show you the benefit. Let me remove this Schedule A for itemized deductions because it's not really benefiting you at all anymore at this point because of the new tax law changes. So now let me bring in the Schedule C. That's for a sole proprietor or an independent contractor. So say if you invested your time and your money into starting a business for yourself today or in the near future, and you want to invest into something that you love. And I say that you love music. So I'm going to go with an artist for right now. So now you're a recording artist, and I started my business. I registered myself as G Music Entertainment, and now now I can take expenses from that business, uh, and it's going to benefit me to reduce my taxes. So let me just show you that right now. As an artist, my first year, I only made about $1,000. I didn't really make any money. Sometimes in the first 2, 3 years, when you start a business, you're not typically going to make any money. So you're going to be able to benefit for them losses that you've taken, and I'm going to show you how. Now, this page right here is very important because this page literally lists all of the things that I talked about in this few slides that we previously had a conversation about. But now you're actually seeing it live. On this slide, you can see that there's advertising for advertising expense, car mileage if you're driving a vehicle. If I had the contract labor, this is the contract labor right here. I can hire one of my kids and say, okay, they help me out with recording. So look, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put that my kid helped me. I pay him about $4,000. And again, you have to have these things detailed and recorded and separate by you having that business account. You can, when I pay my son, I could send that Zelle from that bank, that account, and which will track the payments that I'm paying him through this $4,000 right now. I can say my business license, all the things that I have to pay for my business license right now, let's say it's $500. I can actually take that expense. Let's say that the bookkeeping fees that you got to pay for a bookkeeper. Guess what? You can take that expense. So you see what I'm saying? Oh, you have a cell phone. You have to take you now you see where I'm going at with this. These are legitimate expenses that you can legitimately take. What if you set up a business, register the business correctly? Oh, we got meals and entertainment. So now when you go out on a date or you go out on a business meeting, you can actually use your business credit card and take what? You're writing off all the expenses for your business meal now. Now you see, as a tax professional, I have so many different things that I can use to help benefit you. And of course, he's a recording artist. He have to get some supplies. And look at the numbers that I'm putting. This is like $1,200 here, $1,200 there. Let's say he drove the vehicle for another 10, and I'm going to stop right there. But you're seeing, just by me inputting all of these additional expenses, that it's a plethora of expenses that we can add in for this individual to benefit from if he's just starting a business today. So let me finish with this, and now I have his expenses that I put in for the business, and let's see where his tax now he doesn't owe right now. As you see right here, he's getting a refund now of $991 because he went from owing 221 to now getting a refund of 991. That's only because he was able to claim those expenses. Now I'm going to add one more situation to this situation, just to show you something. Like if I added on that he had a dependent, which will help this him being self-employed again, this is also going to help him. So now I'm adding on a dependent, his daughter that helps him out with marketing and doing his business, the same one that he's paying. let's add her onto the tax return. And I'm gonna go through these questions really quickly. That's not, these are basically tax questions that I have to answer. So I get through this. I can show you guys what the benefit is. All right, here we go. Yeah. So now you see the benefit here. Now added on to the dependent, basically his refund is now 3,225 once I put him as head of household because he has a dependent. Let me change that up. And then we're gonna, all right, so 4,180. And now I'm gonna show you guys by, you see by him starting a business and something that he loved, he was able to write off all of those expenses. I just showed you that with itemized deductions, there's not much that you can write off because they automatically put these standard deductions there. So I'm going to remove this Schedule C, and let's see what happens once I delete this self-employed business that he created. And now his refund just went down to 2007. So he almost lost like $2,000 just by not starting a business and investing into himself. That's basically what I wanted to talk about when it comes to starting a business and how you can maximize and reduce your tax liability by just investing money into yourself. The second part of this presentation, before we go into the Q&A, the questions that you guys may have, and I'm going to leave those questions at the end because I know for a fact that you guys are going to have really good questions about how to start a business and, what you should do for starting a business and, how to go about that. But I also want you to understand this next leg of the seminar because it's very important. And I feel like being your tax preparer, being a loan officer and being a mortgage underwriter, it's best for me to be able to benefit my clients by putting them in the right position to win so they can benefit financially in the future. All right. So when you go into this leg of the seminar where we talk about real estate investing and how it works the same with self-employment, if you look at the benefits, it's the same with if you're, and I have to make this example, if you're paying rent right now today, and that $2,000 rent that you pay, if you multiply that by 12, it's $24,000 a year that you pay for rent. You're not getting any of that money back. You can't write off
Yeah, come right here
depreciation.
now. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You can't write off depreciation for that rent. You can't write off mortgage interest. You can't write off property taxes. The money is just $24,000 that's being thrown away each and every single year. So if you look at it as if you had purchased a home, right? And your home was $2,000 a month that you pay for your home in 5 years, that home would literally um, you would basically have at least about $100,000 of equity in that home. And you know why? Because you're paying that same five $2,000 24 for this because $24,000 each year times five, it will equals to 120. So not only that you're paying down the principal and interest each and every month, you're also creating appreciation from that property where in 5 years, that same 120 you could have been throwing away for rent, you just literally have $100,000 of equity that you can borrow from your home to purchase another home. So this is what I want to talk about when it comes to leveraging with real estate how the importance is that if you're paying that 2,000 a month or even $1,500 a month, it benefits you better if you was to purchase a home and use that money with that same monthly payment. And you will see in 5 years with that $100,000 of equity, you can benefit from all these things that you can write off, and then also now you can use that leverage to purchase another home. All right. So to the next. to the next slide, there's different type of ways you could diversify your real estate investments, right? There's real estate, residential real estate, which when it comes to you already have a property now, and this is for my homeowners who already existing homeowners, you already have a property now. Now you have that equity in that home, you can literally turn that into a rental property now and say that or put a tenant in there or and purchase another home as a primary property. So this is what I mean about talking to the right people and understanding the right things. Now you're buying another property at 3.5% down. Now you have a whole nother asset that you're keeping and you just made yourself a landlord. And you see what I'm saying? That's one way. Also, you have commercial properties such as if I was being an artist, I can get a commercial building and then use one for a recording studio and rent out the rest of the units. And one of the most important ones I want to talk about is vacation rentals. Now, being from Nassau, Bahamas, this is a very important one because Nassau, Bahamas with vacation rentals, if you're talking about an Airbnb, for example, you literally can write off all of your income from the Airbnb and probably a little bit more just because Bahamas is a place where they don't tax on no earned income, wage income, or any income. So being from that's a trip that I got coming up soon at the end next sometime next year, where I'm going to be talking about how to spend your money wisely when it comes to these real estate investments and starting a business. So like your business trips when you take a vacation, instead of you just paying $5,000 for that vacation that you just took, you can't write that off. But if it was a big business vacation, guess what? You can write off that total $5,000 on a business vacation. Okay. All right. So I'm going back to some more of the expenses that you could take when it comes to being self-employed with real estate. Is basically saying that if you had the home office in the rental in your real estate, now you can write off that expense. Just say that if you were traveling back and forth, um, collecting the rent, you can actually write off that expense. Hiring individuals such as maybe your cousins, your family members, or maybe just hiring real people to keep up the maintenance. You can deduct their fees. So again, you see, the government benefits you when you're creating a job for someone else. You can write that expense off. But if you're not creating a job for someone else, they're basically taking that money away from you and using it the way they best feel fit. All right. So the conclusion of this presentation today is basically to tell you to consult with a tax professional like me and a full financial advisor that can advise you on the right steps that you could do with the income that you make in a day. What's the best move to put you in a better position and financial put you in a better financial future in the future. So with that said, I know you guys are gonna have a few questions. Now we can go ahead and answer any questions that you may have. All right. Hello?
Well,
Anybody
yeah,
have any questions? Okay, go ahead.
so it caught my attention basically when you mentioned about the vacation
Yeah.
rentals. So
Yes.
that got my attention. I have about 7 years until I retire, so I was pretty much leaning towards like starting my own business, right? But that
Yeah.
nugget you just gave, basically, to get someone else to work for you, and that's pretty much more of a benefit when it comes to return.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
You
Sid.
know,
For you, we got to talk about it a little bit more personally and kind of when I'm able to talk to you offline because I know your situation is that you are going to be retired, so you're really going to be collecting a certain amount of income from the government each and every day for the rest of your life, right? So now, how to make that money work for you? How to continue to make that money work for you, and not only that, it continue to gain income, but now you're not worrying about paying taxes on that income and you're from the Bahamas, you actually could benefit by having to be starting a B&B here. That's one rental property, but also having a B&B in Nassau, Bahamas. Now you see if when we talk offline a little further, you'll
right.
understand how they all play a role and how it all will benefit you. How you writing off most of your income opposed to being taxed on your income at that point. And you're the perfect person for that because your family is there, everybody's there. So that's why I wanted to talk to you. I wanted you to be a part of this presentation so we could talk and get you in order so you could benefit from everything that you have in your possession at this point.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, sir. No problem. Any other questions that someone may have? Let's see.
There is one in the chat. Someone asks, is there a software where we can track the business expense?
Oh, yes, there is. I have a few that I use. I could actually send it to you. It's like Intuit is one of those. I use it all the time. You could literally, it's a free app. Soon as you, like I said, first thing you got to make sure that you understand is starting that business first. If you don't start the business first, so everybody wanted to know probably exactly why did I put this presentation together. It was because of that. I want to, like I said, educate my people better, and I want them to see, make sure they're doing these things the right way the first time. So one of the things about that is this. For example, when you register that business, there should be a name that you use. You have to make sure the name is verifiable, and you have to make sure the business name is putting you in the position you're in the future. So you might want to make it a corporation. You might want to put it like you see, you can't think small when you think about the business because you might be trying to reach out for business funding and looking for grants and etc. This is why having your bookkeeper setting up your business correctly from the first time really matters. Because when you're looking for getting another 150,000 for your business, you have to have certain things in place, such as your articles of incorporation, your EIN, your Duns and Bradstreet number, even this free domain. These are the things that I'm offering you when I help you with setting up your business account. Even the free, even the free domain. The reason why the domain is important because if you're gonna have a remote business, then you have to worry about your website being 100% professional. So if you're trying to get business funding again or anything of that source of nature, that is also in place. So that's a part of this whole presentation today is that I'm a loan officer. So when it comes to the financing, refinancing, or purchasing a home, I can help you. When it comes to the bookkeeping and the taxes, I can help you and registering the business. I can help you with that. And then I could also help you when it comes to just your tax preparation. So I'm here for you guys for anything else. Do anybody else have any other questions
I
before?
do.
Okay, go ahead.
I
Talk to
have
me.
a vending machine business that I've started. The LLC is set up, my EIN, but I've also began going back to working as a bookkeeper. And I
Okay.
wasn't sure if I should start another LLC or a sole proprietor with another EIN with for the bookkeeping by itself, or should I piggyback off the vending machine business?
All right, so I have to talk to look at how you want to move with your growth because it's always about where you actually want to go. So is the bookkeeping like the business that brings in the money as well, your funding, like everything, all your income is really coming from the bookkeeping and the
Correct.
vending machine is more of the side hustle, right?
Correct.
All right, so yeah, you probably want to most likely keep the bookkeeping as the head business and then do the the vending machine. And that's why I said I want to talk to you how you're doing the vending machine because the vending machine seems like it could be just an expense or how the income is coming in for that. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know what's your growth potential on the vending machine business. So I see the bookkeeping, that's a big business that you can grow. You can get people that you hiring to do the bookkeeping. You just have to worry about buying the softwares and putting your business, making sure your company is lined up the right way so people can trust you and your profession as a bookkeeper. So I love the bookkeeping idea. I would say that the second business would be something that I would just use it on the side as just bringing in income until it finds its position, where you want to go at with it. So I'll focus on that
Okay.
bookkeeping. I'll fairly focus on the bookkeeping for now. Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Does it make sense?
It does. So the vending machine business, I've had the LLC for about 2 years, but I haven't moved any further with it. But the bookkeeping is what I really would like to do. And I just didn't want to. Someone told me to do business as coming off of the vending machine, but it's not progressing
Yeah, it's
versus the
not.
bookkeeping.
Yeah, it's just not necessary right now to you. I think, like I said, focus on that bookkeeping. I think you also do the customer service thing too, right?
I still do.
So
Yes, I still
yeah,
work from
and you
home.
know, and you know now that that bookkeeping, they're doing it more remotely now. So you know, that's to me, that's the business. I would definitely focus on that. All right, so we could talk about that
Mhm.
further, and let's get try to get that in line and see what your growth potential with that. Doing these kind of videos that I'm doing now is
Mhm.
probably some of the things that you need to start putting in play for your growth and get your business where it need to be at. Because people need it, and I know they need it.
I
That's the
know.
reasons why you can stop an audit, you know, from having the right paperwork and detailed paperwork is the reason why we're talking today. All right, so I've answered your question for you, Vanetta. Okay.
So, Garvin, can
Uh-huh.
you hear me? So
Yes.
you do recommend then that for each thing that we have going on, like multiple things, that each of them do have some type of business entity, whether it's a sole proprietor, because I heard you mention that, because as an artist, should they go under sole
Yeah.
proprietor maybe?
See,
And
that's what I mean about like sitting down with your client and then looking at their vision, their path, like what it is that they're going to be doing. Because in reality, you just want one business that's going to be successful so that business can get funding and do et cetera and do whatever else it needs. All the other businesses either is going to be successful or an expense. So
right,
I kind of like let those continue to be expenses but focus on the
one,
income-based business,
okay,
yeah, and then
I
let
got
that grow that business because that's where all of once that business becomes successful, then you can use you I can promote my tax license, my loan officer license, my
you. Real estate, right,
every
everything under.
single thing
Okay.
through the successful business. So that's why I say sit down with the client and understand what that client goal is. What's the bigger reach? Because I don't want you to start a business and in 3 to 5 years, you like, you know what, it was just something I'm playing with. No, in three to
Mhm.
five years, I'm still gonna be doing this. So I'd rather invest my money in something I believe is gonna grow. And that's why I say, let me sit down with the client and say what it is that you love. How are we gonna take this vision? Because everybody's vision is different. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. So that answered your question also? Oh,
Yes.
no.
Hmm.
All right. All right. So do we have any other questions tonight?
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to ask about the business name because I've had my business for a couple of years and I know how important it is in the name having the correct business name because
Yeah.
some business name can be high risk. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, yes, yes. And that's exactly you're 100% right. I don't know. I think it's something.
Okay.
Okay. Because that's the reason why I tell people that let's sit down, let's talk about the vision, let's talk about the dream for real, because that business name is very important. Like if you just do it simple at the beginning, then you're gonna end up changing it later
Mhm.
on. You see what I'm saying? And companies
Mhm.
literally do look at if your business ends with a corporation or LLC or what does that business name says because if it does not show growth is going to stop exactly where it is. So that business name is very important for growth purposes and for business funding, for people to respect your business and where it could go.
Okay. I definitely
Yeah.
want to meet up with you because I just want to make sure I have the correct SAT code,
Yes.
and I don't want to change my business name, even though it's under my realty name. I still feel like real estate is a high risk business. Um, I don't know if they still look at it as high risk, but I know they used to say that when you name your business name, realty is a high risk business.
Yeah, but it's still other ways you could do it because there's still other
Okay.
yeah, you see it's still other ways. And we could just talk about it a little bit further. But
Okay.
real estate is still not it's not actually a bad investment. It's actually one of the best investments. We just explained that with showing that what else can you invest $2,000 a month
Okay.
and guarantee $100,000 in 5 years. What else can you do that in, right? I don't know.
Right,
Like,
right.
you see what I'm saying? So it's
Okay.
according to how the company is set up. We might make them look at the company as high risk. But if you do things correctly, have your Duns and Bradstreet right, you showing them that your income is coming into a bank
Okay.
account, how much money that you have, then they can't say nothing. They gotta loan you the money based on the information
Okay.
that you're providing them. Yeah. All right. So
Okay.
thanks for your question. Is there any other questions? Okay. All right. So I guess there is no more questions. I hope I'm not missing anything. How do you register? Okay. I don't know if that's how do you do okay, I don't know. All right, so any other questions that I may have missed? I guess we can just I can text or talk or we can talk a little bit offline. I hope I didn't miss any other important questions. So this is my first time, so I probably do go do it a little bit. Miss B probably is gonna tell me about it later.
No, this was
But
really good, really good, real
You
good.
did a great job.
You
okay,
did a
You
great
did.
job.
You
thank
I
did a
you.
really
great job, brother.
appreciate
Very
Thank you,
good.
thank you. All right,
Yeah.
so if you guys want to contact me later, I really express my my gratitude and for you guys giving me your attention tonight. This is very important to me because, like I said, I got friends, I have family, I have clients that I've been doing these things for years, and I want to educate them now moving forward so we all could be on the same page. We all could be winning. I want to be your bookkeeper, Sid, and make sure your papers are right. So when they come say something to us, we ain't got to worry about it. You see what I'm saying? And make sure you look it right because that's my Sid is like my best friend. So just like I would like to give him that information, but I would like to give that information to my clients and my audience just so they can understand what we need to do to move forward and for us to elevate. All right, so thank you guys tonight for coming out, and I really appreciate your time. I will be doing these
Thank you.
monthly and monthly once a month so I can tap into my new clients and maybe my existing clients, and then also just keep bringing out new information. Okay, so thanks again. I'll see you guys next month if you guys lock in.
Sounds
Good.
good.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Have a good one,
Thank
brother.
Thank you.
you.
Very good
Take
one.
care,
Thank you.
everybody.
Have, everyone, good night. Thank you.
Night.
Night.